What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball gets a much-needed win, 82-59 at home in the Breslin Center against UCLA. Now, this was a game that was never really in doubt. First couple possessions, I think UCLA jumped out to a quick 4-0 lead. But then Michigan State settles into the game. They win the first half by 20, win the second half by 3, but it was more than enough in this one, and a lot of good things to, kind of go away from this game feeling about. For Michigan State, you had 4 of your 5 starters score in double figures. The only one who didn't was 1 point away from a double-double. So all around, you got solid enough contributions from your bench as well. Defensively, you got back to doing what this team built this first, half, maybe more than half of the season on, being a top 7 defensive team all year long that we've seen get up to the number 1 defensive team in the country at times this year. So getting back to that was definitely key in this one. And then, hey, listen, hitting 14 threes, I think that was a season high. If I'm not mistaken, Jeremy Fears had a career high in threes. Jordan Scott was perfect from 3. But look, overall, just a really feel-good night in the Breslin Center for Michigan State to get back on the winning side of things here. But before we do jump into this game, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We'll have more Michigan State basketball content on the channel, so just make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So we'll start with UCLA here, and their main guy, Tyler Bilodeau, for the most part, he was kind of steady overall in the first, kind of almost 3/4 of this game. But the last, say, 10, maybe a little bit more than 10 minutes of the second half, he kind of got things going. He finishes with 22 points, 50% from the field at 8 for 16, 3 for 5 from 3, 3 for 3 from the line with 6 rebounds, only turned it over once and a block. And, he was getting a lot of this, which I know Izzo kind of talked about it in the post-game radio interview. Some of the ball screen coverage on this, and I think it was a lot of the ball screen slips that Bilodeau was getting that we knew he was going to get coming into the game. He was slipping out of those and getting too clean of a look to get up his 3. For as good of a three-point shooter as he is, that just can't happen. But at the end of the day, I mean, we came into the game talking about how good Bilodeau is and how much we liked his game, and he showed that, but he was the only one in he was one of only 2 UCLA players in double digits. So, like we said, Michigan State did a solid job defensively. Donovan Dent really able to keep him inefficient, 6 points on 3 for 11 and 0 for 3 from 3, but 5 rebounds, 4 assists, but the 4 turnovers were key. He was able to get 3 steals though. Trent Perry, who I said I thought he moved and got to the lane fairly well, but he finishes with 9 points on 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 4 for 4 from the line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. Eric Daly Jr. Only got 1 shot to go, was 3-pointer, finishes with 2 rebounds. Off the bench, okay, we'll start with Sky Clark, 12 points on 5 for 11 and 2 for 6 from 3. Eric Freeney got a 3-pointer to go with 2 rebounds, an assist, turnover, steal. And then Steve Jamerson, the second in this one. Kind of the interesting story and the one that kind of most people are coming away from this game, both Michigan State, UCLA fans. But then, of course, the other fans that were just watching this game come away from this one. So Steve Jamerson II, he plays 8 minutes. He gets 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a turnover. But he, had kind of a weird play. It was I forget exactly even the whole sequence, but essentially, Carson Cooper had a wide open kind of breakaway dunk, got the ball, leaked ahead to him, and he went up for it. And, in real time, in real time, I don't think that it was dirty, and watching the replay, I don't think it was completely dirty. It could have been a lot worse. He could have taken Coop directly out and led him right to the stanchion. It still was, I think objectively kind of a dangerous play overall, especially with the way that Coop fell. But I think you take that context into it with also the context of where the game was at the time. you're down 20 points. Why? Like, I get you're trying to make a play, but if this was maybe a 10-point game with like 10 minutes to go or something, and you can maybe try to make a big play and get a turnover, like whatever, you maybe go for the ball. But why do you even have to go for the ball in that situation? I guess was my kind of thing. But looking at all the replays, I don't think it was anything super egregious. But I also just being in the arena, and they didn't show the replay on the on the arena scoreboard or anything. So, um, like I just reacted to how Coop reacted. Like Coop isn't someone who gets up and gets in your face like that often. So the way that he jumped right up and everything kind of happened right there, I was like, I guess he probably he felt that there was a little something to that. Um, but yeah, I guess you can take that with a grain of salt. But he comes out of the game, so then he goes to the bench, and Mick Cronin, kind of letting him have it a little bit, and then just sends him to the locker room. So essentially, just self ejects his own player from the game. I don't know. There's a lot of mixed opinions on that. UCLA isn't our team that we cover here, but obviously talking about the game, wanted to just kind of touch on it. In the moment, I was like, okay, kind of tip your hat to Cronin a little bit. If felt like it was dangerous play, then if he's like holding this player accountable, but seeing it too, I think it was also just a mix of emotions. So yeah, do I feel bad for the kid because I didn't even know this story coming in? I guess I'm pretty sure he was the kid that tried to walk on at Michigan State or tried to be a manager, didn't work out. Whatever the case may be, so I don't know. Maybe there's more to the story. We also didn't get a Mick Cronin presser after the game to get more answers on it, but yeah, it was definitely a weird kind of situation. So I'm curious to kind of hear what else comes out about that afterwards. Whenever we hear from Mick Cronin, but we'll close out UCLA with Xavier Booker. He played 25 minutes in this one, 2 points, 1 for 1 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. And overall for Xavier, obviously the numbers don't jump off the scoreboard, but I thought overall Tom Izzo asked before the game, wanted the fans and everyone to kind of keep it, not do anything crazy. To Book that it was a mutual decision for him to leave and that it was best for all parties, which we kind of all agreed with, wanted it to work out, and I still say the same thing. Love Xavier Booker. We'll root for him. I have rooted for him while he's at UCLA when he had that big game against Rutgers, I believe it was a couple games ago. We'll always root hard for him, like Tom Izzo said, except when he plays Michigan State. So, it was good to see Book out there, and it still just sucks that it didn't work out here. I wish he was still here on the team with Michigan State, and as Izzo said, things kind of could have developed more, but I'm glad that it was, I would say, at the beginning of the game, it was maybe like a 75-25 reception, good. But then by the end of the game, especially when the game was out of hand, you had his own chanting, "We want Booker." So I think overall that it was a fine return for Xavier Booker. Obviously, I'm sure he would have liked to walk away with the win, obviously, but overall, didn't think there was anything crazy there. But we'll jump to the Michigan State side of things. Off the bench, I mean, it's always a good game when you get the walk-ons in, right? So Walton twins got in. Brendan Walton actually got up a 3 in this one. Jesse McCullough had a couple nice moves down there, got a bucket to go with 2 rebounds as well in 9 minutes. Nick Sanders got in as well. Denim Wojcik only got 2 minutes in this one. They kind of ran some Jordan Scott backup point guard minutes they tried it for a couple minutes. Didn't go particularly well. We'll get more into that here in a second. But Trey Ford, 11 minutes. He got a 3-pointer to go. We also had 4 rebounds and assists. Did have a turnover. Cam Ward, I'll say Cam Ward had a rough night. He fouled out in this one. 4 points in 18 minutes. 2 for 4 from the field. A rebound and assist and 3 turnovers. Did have the block, but fouled out in this one. And a lot of his fouls were on pick and roll or, ball screen action on both sides. His fouls, either moving screens or foul on the defensive side on the screen. So, yeah, kind of just a weird night for Cam Ward, who I thought could have a big game in this one. But overall, I wouldn't say overly a negative. I thought he did some decent things, but, just not Cam's best night. I'll say that, but I'm confident he'll be able to bounce back overall going forward. And then the starting lineup. We'll start with Carson Cooper in this one. 25 minutes, 12 points, only 2 for 2 from the field, but 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Was actually Michigan State's only free throw line miss on the night, but solid night overall. Obviously, 7 rebounds, 4 turnovers, had a steal and 2 blocks as well. Thought he was really, really solid on the glass. I'm surprised it's only 7 rebounds. It seemed like he had at least 12 to 14 in this one. That's how dominant he was on the glass. But Jackson Kohler as well. 9 points, 4 for 9, 1 for 3 from the 3, and 10 rebounds. So 1 point away from a double-double there. Finishes with 2 assists, a turnover, and a steal as well. Jordan Scott, still thriving in that starting lineup role. 11 points, 4 for 5 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. Absolutely love seeing him knock those down. And if he can start knocking those down more consistently, we're moving forward really solidly here. And that is definitely a threat. 3 rebounds, 2 assists as well. I did forget one person off the bench, Kurt Tang. I do apologize, but in 19 minutes, 9 points, got 3 balls to go, 3 for 7, 3 for 5 from 3, with 2 rebounds and 3 assists, only 1 turnover. But closing out the starting lineup, Cohen Carr, 16 points, 7 for 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, steal, and 2 blocks, including a very nasty highlight block as well. And then Jeremy Fears, controlling everything, 16 points, 5 for 11, and 4 for 8. Like I said, I believe that's a career high for him from 3, 2 for 2 from the line with 1 rebound, 10 assists to only 1 turnover, and it was a very weird turnover too. He was trying to throw it off the UCLA player's leg. He was kind of getting trapped in the corner there, but 2 steals as well. And like I said, overall for Michigan State, in control for most of this one, besides maybe the first couple possessions there. But yeah, just a feel-good win, get back in the win column. As we said, we did not see a lot of Denim Wojcik in this one, and that wasn't because we got 38 minutes out of Jeremy Fears. They tried a couple different things. They tried Jordan Scott in there for a couple minutes, running the backup point guard minutes. While I don't hate that, you obviously do need some more run to see how that looks. I still would not mind seeing some Trey Fort with the ball. Just seeing how it is. He's a good creator with the ball. But I do know that why they liked Denim out there is he'll kind of just get you into your sets and get the ball moving. So I guess it's kind of, what do you want when Jeremy's not out there? I think Jordan Scott can just do that. I'd like to see more of what the handle looks like in situations. But if you want someone who Trey Fort can take guys off the dribble, then I think you possibly give him some opportunities to bring the ball up with Jeremy on the bench, to get a couple minutes there. Not saying you want to run that lineup for 3-4 minutes, like whatever, but hey, if you can spot a minute or two there, I think that's an option. Let Trey Fort kind of do what he does. That's his specialty. So creating off the dribble, shooting. So I wouldn't mind seeing Trey Fort with the ball in his hands a little bit too. So I'm curious if they try to still experiment with that here a little bit over the last couple regular season games before getting into tournament time. Overall, really solid game for Michigan State. Not too much to nitpick besides turnovers. We'll get to that here in a second. But a lot of that was kind of when, the game was out of hand a little bit for UCLA, and Michigan State maybe, didn't take as much care of the ball as you needed to. But just going over some stats. Field goal percentage, 37% to 53% for Michigan State. 8 for 25 compared to 14 for 27 from 3 for Michigan State. That's 32% compared to 52%. Not a lot of free throws, 9 for 12 for 75%, and Michigan State 10 for 11, 91%. Rebounds, winning that rebounding battle, 27 to 37. Losing the offensive glass, 9 to 8, but the defensive side, 18 to 29. 11 assists compared to 21 for Michigan State. 6 steals to 5, and then 4 blocks to 5 for Michigan State. 11 turnovers for UCLA, but 14 for Michigan State. little too high. We always talk about 8 to 12 for Michigan State. So just a little above that. 17 points off turnovers, 13 for Michigan State. 2 fast break points compared to 10 for Michigan State, I guess, should I say, winning that battle. And then 20 points in the paint for each side. Michigan State had the lead up to 31 at one point. As we said, UCLA had that 4-point lead at the beginning of the game. But now for Michigan State, you got a couple days off. You don't play again until Sunday, but you got a tough opponent coming in Ohio State, who, if I am not mistaken, just beat Wisconsin tonight. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure they got a win at home, I believe it was for them against Wisconsin, and yes, they did a home win against number 24 Wisconsin, and it was a decent win, 86-69. So Michigan State gets a couple days off here before Sunday afternoon in the Breslin Center against Ohio State. So anyway, that'll do it for this one. We'll be back to preview the Ohio State game coming up here on Sunday, but that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.